What is up, everybody? Luke Film Boss here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. This is just a really fun, pretty expertly crafted, just good, solid film. Like, it's not super profound, although it does have some pretty well written, if not generic and basic and overdone messages in it, which we'll get to later. But overall, from a craftsman point of view, from a filmmaking and just like an artistic point of view, this movie is one of the best, if not very, very close to the best of the year. I mean, we've had some good stuff. We've had Oppenheimer, Barbie, Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Verse. So there's a lot competing against this film, but the animation is just extremely impressive. And it's funny because the comparison it gets is Spider-Verse. And obviously, you can tell that the animation in Ninja Turtles was inspired by Spider-Verse, but I think it's been unfairly been seen off as kind of trying to copy Spider-Verse or almost being a ripoff in its animation style, which is not fair because it's if you put them side by side, they are extremely different. And like you maybe people don't see that. I don't know. I'm just not quite understanding. Some people are just a lot of people that I know just aren't digging this new animation style. They're just saying they tried to do a Spider-Verse and failed. And I think that might be why most people don't like it, is because they're looking at it as this was trying to be Spider-Verse. Like, this animation is supposed to look like Spider-Verse, and it doesn't. It's not supposed to look like Spider-Verse. It's supposed to be its own thing. It's new and it's creative. It's a new style. It kind of, this Ninja Turtle movie almost looks like it was hand drawn with colored pencils, whereas Spider-Verse was going for more of that comic booky look. And then this new Spider-Verse had so many different art styles thrown in. Ninja Turtles, once again, might have been inspired because Spider-Verse was one of the first animated films, if not the first, to actually take a, at least mainstream, like big, like Hollywood animated film, to take a different approach at how the animation looked from just basic 2D or 3D animation, and they did something different. That's what Ninja Turtles is doing, but it's not trying to copy Spider-Verse. It's supposed to have its own look, and they 100% succeeded at that. The filmmakers did an amazing job of capturing this new art style, and it's unfairly being compared to Spider-Verse, and people like that animation more, so they're saying, oh, so this new Ninja Turtle animation is just a bad looking version of that. And it's like, in my opinion, the animation is great. It's definitely the highlight of the film. Not only the animation style and the way it just looks frame for frame, but the movement of how, like, there's not really a camera, but like, just for comparison, like the way the film moves, like the camera movements, is so well done. It is superb. You definitely can't give an animated film best cinematography because it's animated. It wasn't actually shot with a camera. But it's one of those films, like, you could give this film best cinematography, best, I guess cinematography wouldn't be the camera movement, I guess, but the way the camera moves is so, so well done. Like, visually, this film is peak. So that's basically the highlight of the film. The second highlight, I would say, would be the characters. And there's a few problems here as well. I thought Splinter was hilarious, and I didn't really mind that he wasn't the Splinter that most people are used to, I guess. Because once again, a lot of people, I guess, also didn't quite like Splinter's portrayal. It's really mixed because people are saying it was good. I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. Kind of like they didn't like what they did with Splinter, but they also liked Splinter in the movie. So, like, that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, he's not great. He's funny. He's got this awesome fight scene about a little more than halfway through the movie. So Splinter's all right. You got some of the villains. You got all these other mutants. There's so many. Leatherhead, yada yada, Rhino Dude, Pig Dude, Gecko Dude, all of the others. They're all fun side characters. None of them get a lot of screen time or have any deep revelations. They're just kind of there. And then you have the villain Superfly, and he's actually a cool villain until he becomes some giant kaiju in the end, and it's just like, okay, he's technically still like him going into the city and destroying everything, it's still in character, but it's just like not as compelling as him trying to create the world into a mutant world. Like that's just compelling stuff because he was rejected by the world, so he's going to try to make a new one. Like that's good stuff. And him being like a giant buff fly dude makes him a little bit more, he's not human, he's a mutant, but he makes him more of a character than a giant monster that's a culmination of all these things. So Superfly was really good, and then he was just meh. And then wasn't really like a big, like the finale was just a giant kaiju battle, and I didn't really care for that. But I'll explain more of how it was good later. So the last characters I want to get into is April O'Neil. I actually liked her. Like she's definitely lower on the list of characters because Superfly, Splinter, and the Turtles I thought were all better. Even most of all the side mutant characters, even though they have less to do than April, are kind of more interesting than her. But she has her moments, and she's actually kind of funny in a lot of scenes. So April is solid, and I don't care that she is a body positive black girl. Like it didn't change anything in the story. She's still a teenage girl who's trying to be like a journalist. So like she didn't need to be white. So like sure, some people might be like, oh, they're wokeifying. It's like nothing about April O'Neil's character needs to be white, in my opinion, but that's just me. And finally, I want to talk about the turtles themselves. Raph, Mikey, Donatello, and Leonardo, they are great in this movie. They are what makes this movie what it is. They're part of the reason why I, as you'll see, rate this movie as high as I do. It's the animation and the turtles. The filmmakers, the writers, just captured perfectly the fact that these turtles are teenagers and the way they react with each other and the way they converse and all these things. It just feels so natural, and they just feel like real teenagers, and they're fun, they're funny, sometimes annoying, but the movie knows how to play it into being funny and relatable for the purposes of the story. And I kind of like the fact that they are Gen Zers, because Ninja Turtles continues to evolve. Every time there's a new adaptation, the turtles are, part of the new generation. And I think that's a clever way to do Ninja Turtles, is not just making them the same that they used to be. Like keeping them, like they're still very accurate to what Ninja Turtles are. They're just a different, generation of teenager in this movie, which is Gen Z. And it works extremely well. I'm not huge into Ninja Turtles, but I don't know what they were doing with the 2014 Ninja Turtles. That movie was terrible. Nothing about the Turtles stood out as teenagery or really anything. Like nothing stood out about that movie. It was so bad, so generic. This movie, even just in the character designs, you can tell apart every single one of the turtles. And once you get to know them, like you'll be able to say, that's Ralph, that's Mikey, that's Leonardo, that's Donatello. Like you can tell them apart just by looking at them, even if they had no masks or any weapons. If they were just turtles in a shell, the character designs are that good that you'd be like, that's them. It's really, really good. I'm glad they took the time and effort to do that. And then just the personalities I thought were pretty well enacted. Like they all have these different things that make them who they are. Raph is like this aggressive, like meathead who likes being big and tough and angry and rageful, but he's not really angry and rageful. He's actually more just like wants to be big and loud and like that guy who just gonna punch and, but he's always does it with a smile on his face. So he's not like angry. Like I guess that's something in the movies, like he's got rage issues. Kind of, yes, but like he just wants adventure. He just wants to have some fun beating the crap out of some bad dudes. And then you've got Leonardo, I think, is the other one that definitely his personality is distinctive because he's trying to be the responsible one. He's trying to be the leader, and so he's the one that kind of tries to be, more well behaved and, follow the rules a lot more than the others do. Then you've got Donatello, and he's the tech guy. He knows how to drive, and he's more like the video game nerd out of the group and all that stuff. So I like that. And then Mikey's the jokester, of course. And I think they pulled it off pretty well. Like, all of them are different from past versions of the Ninja Turtles that I've seen, but yet they all stick to what the Ninja Turtles are individually. And I like that about the film. So going into the story, I've already spoiled some of it, but I don't want to go too deep, I guess. But it's been out for almost 2 weeks now by the time this video gets out. So, like, this definitely is a spoiler review. Like, it's not spoiler free because it's coming way too late for that. And I just want to say what I got to say about this movie. So, once again, the visuals, the fight scenes, all of that stuff, it is so spectacular, so well done. The animation is spot on, just spot on. The angles and the camera movements. There's this one montage where the turtles are going to all these different crime bosses and beating up all their guards and everything, and it's just the way it's filmed is so good, and it gives each one of the turtles like their moment to shine. And I can't really do it justice by just trying to sit here and explain it. Go see the movie. There are some of the best action scenes you're going to see in a movie all year. I think that out of everything, Spider-Verse has the edge on the characters, the animation, all the visuals, the story, the emotion, the music, all of that. Spider-Verse has the edge. Ninja Turtles, the actual fight scenes themselves, that is the one thing that Ninja Turtles just tops Spider-Verse in. Like, it is good. And Spider-Verse had some pretty epic action fight scenes as well. Like, that's how good Ninja Turtles is. Like, it's animated, but the choreography, like how they staged every single moment of the fight in every scene that there's a fight, it's so good. Good kung fu stuff. And I forgot to mention that this movie is, I kind of said it was fun, but this movie is hilarious. It's funny. It's so good. Getting to the story's a little bit basic. It's turtles want to get out of the sewers, be accepted by society, but they're monsters and the people won't accept them. It's got that whole like undertone, which is seen in a lot of movies where it's like, oh, kind of like correlates with like racism and stuff, which has always been kind of what Ninja Turtles was. Same with like the X-Men. So like, nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly fine. That's not being woke or anything, especially with how it ends. And that's what I really want to talk about. So you have this story where they're trying to be accepted by society and not seen as monsters. And then you have Master Splinter, who kind of indoctrinates them, saying that humans are all terrible and they're gonna just, every single one of them is just out to get you and all that. And what I think is cool about that is because as the movie progresses, the turtles slowly come out of their shell, I guess, and start going and trying to like interact with the human world more so that they can get the humans to accept them. And Master Splinter finds out and doesn't like this. But then as the movie progresses, he starts to realize that yes, there are people that will not accept them, but he comes to realize that he was wrong, that yes, there are people who actually will accept them. And I think it correlates good to our culture today, where everybody's saying that, oh, we're all divided and they won't accept us. Even with homosexuals or all these things, like saying, oh, they're so judgmental of us and all this stuff. But when in reality, if they actually come to us, they'll find that we're not just trying to pound them into the ground. Like, white people aren't all against black people. Straight people aren't all against gay people. We might have different views on certain things, but overall we can live in harmony together. We're not trying to fight each other. And Splinter realizes, like, Splinter and the mutants, they are the minority, and they realize that the majority isn't as bad as they thought they were. And I thought that was a really good message for, today's culture and day and age, with everything going around with media trying to split everybody and segregate everybody into these different sections, saying, oh, these people, they are the racists, these people are, the good people, and these are the bad people, and how they're trying to segregate, even saying, oh, if you're in this group, then you're more, selfish or privileged than this group. And I just like how this movie kind of portrays us as being able to live in harmony together. That's just a good message to portray. I'm just so happy that it ended that way, because I'm like, how are they going to, end this? How are they going to conclude it? And then in the finale, it's the giant kaiju battle. But you see everybody, humans and mutants, working together to stop the kaiju. And that just made me think, wow. So sure, it's just a generic kaiju battle, but they, with the writing and what they were building up to, made it less generic. So I'm just so happy how the way the movie ended. I think it could have been better. I think they could have done it more personally, with there being different ideology that has to clash between the heroes and the villain. But overall, we got a cool action scene where each of the turtles get to use their special skills to take down the kaiju. And ta-da, good ending, happy ending. Something I thought was pretty funny is how this movie kind of does pose the problem is that kind of even in our society today, I don't know if it's self-aware about it and it was intentionally doing this in the movie, but it just shows how people also are so easily swayed by what people say in the news. It's hilarious because people have there's this scene where the news media is saying these mutants are attacking and everybody's all scared of the mutants and everything. And then April O'Neil gets on and says, they're actually good. They're trying to help us. And everybody just suddenly changes their mind. So there's the little things in there that make the movie cheesier. And I don't know if it was intentional, but it makes it seem just less realistic, I guess. There's this one scene where Superfly, and once again, this is spoilers, but Superfly is about to get his machine turned on, and then the turtles come in and they give the turtles and Master Splinter give this speech about how if they kill all the people, they're no better than the people are. Mutants are no better. And then saying that the mutants can be accepted without having to destroy the humans and all that stuff. And then all the mutants just immediately go from Superfly's side over to the turtle side like that. Not a single person stuck with Superfly. I'm really? They could have had it was good in principle. You can tell that a lot of the mutants throughout the movie weren't really super into the way Superfly does things and the way he acts and all that. So to have some of them have a change of heart would have made sense. It would match their personalities. But the pig and the rhino, or at least have one of them stick by Superfly, and maybe the frog. I was expecting the frog to stay with Superfly, but no, all of them just turn against Superfly. And so instead of having a cool ninja fight scene between all these mutants, we just get, they had to up the stakes by turning Superfly into a giant kaiju, because in all reality, how could every single one of them not take down Superfly, at least eventually, which they do, even though Superfly somehow on his own holds his own against a buff manta ray, a super big rhino, a pig, 4 turtle mutants, a bat, crocodile, and all these other mutants. Superfly holds his own before turning into the kaiju. So it's this little things here and there. I could go into a lot of the details because there's so many details, both good and bad. The script isn't super tight, but it's a very good emotional script that definitely makes you care about the characters. So overall, Mutant Mayhem is not perfect, but it's definitely really good. And it's probably, there's a slight chance at this point that it might make my top 10 of the year, but also it's already closer to the bottom of the list so far, so it probably will get knocked out unless the writer's strike, delays almost every film that's going to come out for the rest of the year. So we'll see. But right now, this has been my review of Mutant Mayhem. I give the movie an 88%, both in quality and enjoyment, for an overall score of 88%. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to help you be on the lookout for more videos from Luke Film Boss. Bye.